here's the people are just way too dug in on either side of this. As far as actually investing in it, I mean, you and I have both done so, and
Yeah.
we've always done it. Sami always talks about like lottery tickets. We've always done it as a very small, insignificant portion of anything that we hold. Like, I know there are people out there, if it would seem so on social media and stuff, that have put everything into this ecosystem
Yes.
and, you know, into the Atropa, pDAI, teddy bear. Like, that's all they've been doing. And then all these other derivatives on Atropa. We've never, ever done anything like that. But that, I mean, there were accounts that turned into like Atropa accounts, you know, a year and a half, like 2023, actually, like summer
Yep.
2023 is when this was really taking off. And, you know, their whole identity went into that for a long time. So I'm not going to get rooted down and claim that I know something one way or the other. I want to have exposure to it still. I do still. I definitely didn't sell anything on this news or anything.
Right.
I didn't buy anything either. I'm just chilling out, kind of letting the dust settle here. And I do think that's a good idea probably for anybody is, you know, regardless of what you're doing, just let things chill out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I'm not buying. I'm not selling. I'm definitely not buying until the value extraction stops. And you know what I would like to see is some of the liquidity get pulled so these people can't uh, send it somewhere else. You know, there was the guy that was in that spaces was chatting and said, you know, just think what $4 million could have done to the core tokens. It will put basically everything back to almost sacrifice value. There's a calculator out there that tells you how much value injected would what it would do to the price and the price of everything else, because they're so bonded by liquidity. It would have put both PulseChain and PulseX damn near at sack value with $4 million, and that was how much they've extracted. So just knowing that alone, you know, it worries me that something nefarious is going on. And you know, until that stops, you know, I don't want to tell anybody what to do, but I hope people stop giving them more opportunity to extract value for now, at least until this thing shakes out or we figure out a little bit more of who it is or what it is. But anyway, that's
Well,
my take.
I don't think there's any going back into Pandora's box with pDAI. I mean, like, it is, regardless of what is happening, people are going to be saying it's going to peg to $1, even as a meme to the very end. So
Sure.
that's one thing for sure that is never going to stop. And actually, I think is kind of also a bullish thing. But you know,
Well,
as I said, I'm not going to be aping into it, and I never really was anyway. But I think
right.
we all need to just chill out. And honestly, my biggest thing is just the people that are on either side of the argument, acting like they know everything and constantly out there to dunk on people and get in arguments. It's just, you've got an agenda to begin with, and you have to understand that when you present things like that, the only people that are going to listen to you are just people who already agree with you and aren't really thinking anyway. You know what I
Sure.
mean? So
Sure. Well, there's a lot of big investors that want to see their bag, you know, explode. And,
mhm.
you know, another thing that I found out that I didn't know is that you can't collateralize somebody else's tokens. Essentially, you have to collateralize your own tokens. Well, there are people out there with millions or billions of these pDAI tokens, and it makes me wonder, will they collateralize their own tokens? Probably not. Like somebody that's got that big of a holding is really praying for a good payday.
Mhm.
Do you see them collateralizing that much money to back their own tokens?
Right.
I I don't.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
even
Yeah.
if you had $1 million, would you put $1 million worth of stable coin, 1.1, if you had to collateralize it at 110%? You know, would you collateralize your own tokens like that? What would be the point? So,
Yeah.
you know, there's a few of those things that are kind of playing out too that kind of just, you know, have started to raise the red flags again. Um, and that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Yeah. Interesting comment by the beach whale. What if it was a stress test? PDI and PWBTC ratio didn't break. Yeah, that stuff is all still clean. I mean, yeah. I it's going to be hard to convince me that there's not something going on. Obviously, there's something going on, but it's just in terms of whether it's bullish, bearish, who's doing what. It remains to be seen. But yeah, this is just an interesting time, and I think we're probably in a fear time, and we're going to see things around it move up later on. That's just my opinion, but I'm not, I'm not dying on any hill like a lot of people are, So,
Yeah.
any final
And
thoughts?
well, yeah. I'm not talking about people that are making money and selling and things like that. I'm talking about there's a mint going on where they're minting these things for free and then extracting. So I don't have a problem with people selling, making money, extracting value that way. It's when there's, again, something nefarious that's happening that I feel they're just minting them out of thin air, and pulling value from the people that have put up liquidity. That to me is where I get concerned. I don't like to wallet watch and see people that have made money. We all talk about Rackham and what the value that he's pulled out of this chain, but he's bought it fair and square, and he sold it fair and square. So I mean, that's, as much as we may not like it, there's not a whole lot we can do about whales that make money. Where I get concerned is when something's, again, being minted out of nowhere, and just dumped because there's a glitch or some sort of exploit that's happening. So just wanted to clear that up.
Andre Harrison says, "Sack up, Ewok. Take a side for once. Can't be Switzerland in this market." Do you have any response to that?
Nope,
Okay.
I don't.
I mean,
I'm back on the side of not being so sure about pDAI. I'm not going to sell what I hold. Obviously, I've already bought some, but I'm not going to buy any more, and that's my stance.
That's kind of the cool thing. Well, you say that now. If it starts to go up later on, you may be tempted to buy more. But
I might sell some.
We'll
If
see.
it goes higher than what I bought it for, I may
You're not
dump
buying
some.
now. I don't know. Here's the cool thing. You can kind of have your cake and eat it too. I mean, you don't have to have your entire net worth in pDAI. You don't have
no.
to, I mean,
I never did. Not even close.
No, not you. I just mean anybody. I mean,
Right.
you can, there is, luckily you can do whatever the hell you want. That's the cool thing. So